It is time to put some respect out there for one of the godfathers of the Bristol scene. Cheo is the boy. End of. He's been hitting walls up in Bristol City for decades, practicing and perfecting some really amazing and beautiful pieces in his hometown, and he chooses to stay here too. A name synonymous with the Bristol and spray painting scene, and a name that carries such weight and with such a body of work that if I collected all of his pieces for this video, it would easily be about 3 hours long. Chances are he was probably the first name you heard of when it comes to Bristol graffiti. I wanted to make this video first. When I was making this video series, I thought Cheo would be the best one to start with, but instead I took my time to get as much information and did as much research as I could, so to put this video out it would be perfect. I found some interviews and some videos where he was talking about himself and his history, so I can do my favourite section of these videos, Man Behind the Can. He's done so much for the scene and so much for the city too. Also, he's done his bit for looking after and remembering how important bees are for the ecosystem, so you gotta respect that too. First thing I want to say about Cheo is his accent. Your accent, it's amazing. I heard Cheo bash his accent in an interview, and me, it's a vibe. What are you on about? Come on. I've always loved hearing the accent, and it creates such a fresh street piece. If the scene could speak, it would definitely sound like Cheo. He was drawing from a very young age, and he would be left to himself by his own devices to just draw, and in which he would draw from his imagination. Unfortunately, he has the devil's left hand, but we will still love him, don't worry about that. He didn't speak until the age of 5 as well, which I guess is a testament to how much he doesn't like the accent. You know, it kind of makes sense, right? He started doing tags at 11, and he describes himself as a graffiti artist and illustrator. So from the underworld of advertising to an artist is possible, and look, Cheo achieved it. He went down that pathway perfectly. He is also legit and authentically graffiti. When he was younger, he stole Subway Art, the influential book that started a lot of careers, and he was 14, and he just absolutely admired the New York City train graffiti scene, and the book was kind of like a bible to a lot of writers. Also, he used to raise his paints when he would go put up his work. But then Operation Anderson happened, and it was like the equivalent of when the FBI was going after La Cosa Nostra. Cheo couldn't work illegally anymore, and I'm glad he didn't keep on that illegal path, because look at our city because of the change and the transition, and not keeping it real on vacation at Her Majesty's pleasure. He has an allergy to cats. He absolutely loves hip hop, and he loves the buzz of illegal work. But again, like I said, he works legal now. Well, maybe he's a secret. Maybe he's one of the secret tags in the Bristol. Anyway, he acknowledges the adrenaline which graffiti brings, which is good. For someone who could live anywhere, he chooses Bristol, and that means we share that same Bristol energy, which I absolutely adore. Cheo has a really distinct style when he designs a piece. The first thing I will mention, you've probably already seen, is the bumblebee. And the story behind that is the bee is a homage to hip hop, because when he was younger he was a b-boy. See the connection? His style comes from an illustrator called Von Bodie as well. When he was a teen, he started collecting comics by Von Bodie, and he said the style spoke to him so much that was his vibe. Later in his career, he managed to do a show with his son Mark, and he ended up with an original sketch from Vaughn. He's also a big fan of bulk colouring, which shows in his work. His style is wonderful, and it gives a Bristol feel immediately, which is why Cheo is the godfather. I've always loved how hip hop and the pieces merge, and kind of there's a good marriage between them. Because of the history and connection between spray art and hip hop anyway, Cheo just brings that to the table to the very forefront. You can't really pin him down on one object or theme either, because there is a clear difference in a lot of his works. The shading adds depth flawlessly, the proportions fit beautifully, and as I mentioned before, the colour itself is just sublime. Being near a new Cheo piece is pure kush for the eyes. As you can imagine, I absolutely love YouTube, and I crawl through the tunnels of videos every single day. And on here, Cheo's YouTube presence is super dope. He has a YouTube channel which you could defo go and sub to, like right now. Pause the video, the link's below, go sub to him, and come back and watch the rest, obviously. But where he has time-lapse pieces and some sketches of his work, along with a more personalised video series which he talks about his early life and Vody, the guy I mentioned earlier, and he explains his passion quite passionately. Separately, I found out that he has made 2 books, and one of them is a colouring book from these videos. He has a Facebook, Twitter and an Instagram, and the latter of which is what I see the most because it's what I use the most. He has a lot of fun and fresh stuff to check out. It also links to his website, and it has a lot of variety of stock, so there is something for everyone to pick from. From original pieces, t-shirts and prints to buy, there is really something that will stick out when you look. And what sticks out to me, I guess, is when he draws and writes on the maps because of the super local feel it gives. They're absolutely lovely, you've got to check them out. I found Cheo to be in most areas of Bristol, but loads in the south. His works are a good size, and they're usually about human size too, which is lovely because it leaves them eye level. I found Cheo Burger to have his style, and it's a good way of advertising. I literally stopped in my tracks on my bike. I didn't plan to get that one, I just wow. He gets a good size space during Upfest as well, so just always wanted to check him out when he's live spraying. He has worked around the globe and with a load of different artists too, so he hasn't just blessed Bristol. The bumblebee above North Street is so cool, and it sticks out to me because it's a sculpture. It's a completely different medium, and it completely slaps. This is one of the original graffiti writers turned graffiti artists. Authentic and talented. This is the guy that's been keeping it true. Whenever a new piece is out, I feel like it's the same vibe and energy when Wu-Tang was dropping an album back in the 90s and early 2000s. A titan and a gentleman. And you can see why he was on my Mount Rushmore, right? I would hope in his personal life he would raise a colony of bees. And also about Wu-Tang, actually, he should illustrate an album, cover the killer bees. But hopefully he doesn't raise killer bees too, but just draw them. Be sure to follow him on all socials and check out his website for products. If you made it to the end of the video, you'll probably like the other videos I've made about the other Bristol artists. So subscribe for more and check out the old ones. And like the video, as it really does help. And thank you for watching.